am Roy Chetty of the Social Movements in Daba, and we are a part of the support network for the trading community here. Following May 30th invasion of the market by the city police and the driving out of the trading community, we had kind of arrangement where the city had come to an agreement by the 9th of June to indicate that the traders could trade until July 31st, at which point the leases would be terminated. Whilst this was understood and people were trading, the City Council then decided to change the rules or change its deal, reneged on what it had said by then looking at categorizing the traders into legal and illegal. They defined legal traders as those who could produce on demand their leases, signed leases. Those who couldn't were asked to go and fetch affidavits stating that they are operating the market. So this was done almost more than a day, one full day plus a few days of trading was taken off whilst the traders tried to comply with this requirement. Again, not satisfied with that, the market was closed on Friday and Saturday of last week. By Saturday, a court interdict was obtained from the High Court judge in favor of the traders and of the market opening. When the interdict was served on Saturday, the Superintendent Mutwa refused to accept or to abide or comply with the court interdict, stating that he needed instructions from his superiors. During this time, vegetables and livestock, chickens, the vegetables were rotting in the market, livestock were dying. By Saturday afternoon, already some 15 chickens had died. The SPCA had come in on 2 occasions on Saturday to investigate the condition of the chickens. And I think presently they are still in the market trying to look at what the condition is now. But during this time now, stock which had been bought was rotting. Today, one day after Sunday, on Monday we thought that when the sheriff personally delivered the interdict to Mutwa, the superintendent, that he would open the market, only to find that the market was still being occupied by the police. The gates were firmly shut, and from 5:30, 6 o'clock, no one was allowed to enter, which meant that the crowd had to wait for further clarification. The market, we were told by the superintendent, couldn't open until he got orders or instructions from his superiors, and his superiors were looking at the legal ramifications of the interdict. Now, all of this, during this time, a period of calm had actually descended in the place. The police were relaxed, so were the trading community. We were waiting for Mr. Mutwa to get back to us as soon as his superiors had got to him. But by 9:15, the situation changed quite drastically. First of all, the police rushed 2 of the protesting comrades outside. One of them, a woman, arrested them and took them into the market. That excited the crowd, but our leadership, the market leadership, went out and stood between the police and the crowd, trying to keep peace. The police didn't seem to recognize and didn't seem to appreciate that the manager or the leadership here was actually trying to keep peace. Instead, reinforcements came in with further arms and with about 3 white policemen who seemed to take the opportunity, having come in as fresh reinforcements, to ask no questions, cordon off the place, and they began opening fire and were seeking to arrest even more people. in the part of the process was to drive us from the gates of the market into the parkade. Whilst they were driving us through with about 1 minute's notice, and we were being driven back virtually at the barrel of a gun, of guns, many guns pointed at us, Rambo style. And they began shooting, and that pushed us out. So all of us ran out to take cover. Some of us were not quick enough to take cover, but they continued shooting. There was one particular vicious white cop who posed like Rambo and began to assume the position, firing at anything and everything, indiscriminate firing. And he was in turn supported by others who were also firing. The cars behind you served as some kind of shelter. I've got in my pocket one of the rubber bullets that was used, and it injured about 6 people were injured badly. One was shot in the mouth, bleeding profusely with a burst lip. Another I saw had about 3 bullet shots at the back in the kidney area, bleeding. One of the aunties, who is in her late 60s, early 70s, was suffering what looked like a heart attack, breathing problems, asthma and so on. And she was eventually attended to by ER24, the emergency support which had come in. The police themselves, not satisfied with having driven the people in, first of all they shot those 2 gates there themselves and jumped over the gate in hot pursuit of other comrades who were here. They picked up one fellow, brutalized him, about 6 to 8 of them grabbed him in every which way, beating him, punching him, kicking him, even when he tried to duck between the cars. Eventually they took him out under arrest. But in all of this, the shooting, there was virtually no place to hide. I think for us, this is a very horrific situation. We are mindful that this is happening one day before June 16, the anniversary of June 16, the 33rd anniversary of the Soweto riots. We didn't expect a democratic policing to continue because these very same...
He's the one! He's the one shot! He's the one open fire! That white father! You're the one that went down! Yeah, you're mad! You open fire!
But that didn't seem to be a regretful situation. It was even worse than that. They had pepper sprays and so on. And as I say, this city council, the city manager, the deputy mayor should be ashamed of themselves and must take responsibility for unleashing their police onto unarmed citizens who are simply exercising the legal right to trade in what is one of the most organized trading centers in the city. Nobody who has been trading in the last 50 plus years, including the last 10 years and so on, could be considered illegal. It is absolutely wrong, terrible attempt to justify what they are doing. It won't wash because these people have been trading and they've been allowed to trade. Further, they've been paying rents, levies, surcharges, and these have all been collected and accepted by this municipality in all of this time. The administrative technicalities that the city is using is a desperate attempt to win some kind of support elsewhere from having the negative publicity they are receiving in terms of demolishing what is an heritage, what is a 99-year trading center of the city. So for us, this is about one of the worst things that Sutcliffe could have done today. One, to defy a court order, and 2, to open fire on unarmed civilians. Any other spin that he's putting out now, we certainly don't buy. We are quite prepared to challenge him to an open debate about what took place here. We were here, we are giving an eyewitness account. We would like to hold the municipality responsible for all sorts of damages, including injury to persons.